So Busan, South Korea has so much to see and do, such an exciting place to visit. It's Seoul's beachy little sister is what it's considered to be. It's got amazing beaches. It's also got some temples. It's got a lot of bustling markets, different cultural villages you can visit. But if you want a real cultural visit and you want to just get right into what's Busan is most famous for, which is fish and seafood, you should pay a visit to the Jagalchi seafood market, which is what this video is going to be focused on. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to visit the most famous seafood market in all of South Korea, and definitely in Busan. And you're going to get a sort of a bird's eye view of what I saw when I visited the very famous market, and I'll tell you all about that. So this experience is definitely the best way to experience the real people and culture of Busan. So hang out with me for a minute, and I'm going to actually show you what it looks like as you approach Busan from the water. We're going to actually go through the port, and you're going to see a view of what it looks like. Here it is now. This is a big shipping industrial port. A lot of things going on here. Pretty exciting. There's no doubt about it that there's just a lot of goods and services that are moved through the port here in Busan. But anyway, we're going to arrive right at the dock, and then we're going to just jut right over to the Jagalchi seafood market, the largest seafood market in the entire country of South Korea. One of the most famous day trips for visitors is to visit this market, because you can actually see what Busan is most famous for, which is fish. And you can actually eat here. You can have a lunch here, directly. You can just pick your fish direct and have it cooked up for you. And there's 3 different ways to do it, and I'll tell you the way I did it. And you can actually see all the fish, the octopus, the uni, the sea urchin, all kinds of fish that you probably never even seen before. And you can visit and meet all the ladies that are selling the fish, because what's unique about this market is it's run largely by women, which is a tradition that dates back to the Korean War, when many of the men were fighting and their wives took over their family fish businesses. So, that's pretty unique, and it's still going on here today. So I hope you enjoy this video. Hang out with me for a bit. So right behind this market are the docks where all the fishing boats are actually docked. So what you're seeing here today is fish, shellfish, octopus, uni, crab. All of this stuff is like so fresh. A lot of it's still alive, but that's why people come here to eat the freshest seafood that they possibly can. And I got to tell you, I walked around here all day long among all this fish, but it didn't actually smell bad. It didn't smell like you might think it would smell, because everything was so fresh. And while it looks unorganized perhaps and not clean to the untrained eye, it was much more clean and organized than it might look just by looking at the video. So I had a really good day here. I had a really, really amazingly tasty lunch. And there's 3 ways to do it. One of the most popular ways, for me, it was a little too touristy, so I opted not to do it. But what people do is they go to certain stalls, certain vendors, and you can actually pick the fish, and then you go up to a dining room on the 2nd level, I think, of this large building in the market, and then you pay a fee for the table. You sit down at the table, that fish is delivered that you picked out, and they cook it up for you. It actually wasn't cheap. It was actually quite expensive if you ask me, but it clearly wasn't overpriced when you compare it to Western standards. But it seemed like, the only reason I didn't do it, by the way, is the only people that were doing it were tourists. I didn't see any Korean people doing that. So I kind of watched it. I enjoyed watching it. It's okay, all is well, but I wanted to do something a little bit different. So what I also saw is some of the vendors you'll see selling the fish and the seafood are also, they have tables right behind, and you can buy the fish and seafood right there, and you can eat it right there. And that's what I was planning on doing. However, as I'm touring the market, I ended up having to see, I saw all the fishermen where they were eating, and they were going downstairs in the same building that all the tourists were going up to the second and third floor in the dining room. But the fishermen were all going downstairs, and there was a restaurant down there specifically for the fishermen and the Korean people. And of course, that's where I went. And I don't regret it one bit. I was the only Western tourist down there among all the Korean fishermen. The food was amazing, and the price was better. So I don't know if that helps you out, or if you want to do the same thing, but either way, you should enjoy lunch here, whether you go with the tourist route and you go upstairs and pick your own fish, or you do it the way I did it. This was an authentic way to experience Busan. So for me, visiting the Jagalchi seafood market was the best way to inject like a real cultural visit, to give me the feeling of what life really is here, to see the faces, the people, eat the food. So for me, that was important. I really loved it. I didn't regret doing any of this. But if I had more time here in Busan, and many other people do this, I would maybe head over to the Gamcheon Culture Village, which is really, really popular. It's a hillside full of colorful buildings. It's got a lot of cultural history from Busan. A lot of people like to do that. Another place that I might want to visit if I have more time is Haeundae Beach. I guess very famous, very beautiful, lots of cafes and shops and street food. Another great thing to do. There's also some parks. Dongbak Park is considered very beautiful. There's another one known as Taejongdae Resort Park, and forgive me if I've destroyed that pronunciation. But there's a lot of things to do here. Busan Tower is another place to get a bird's eye view of Busan from. So, you know, this isn't the only thing you should do. For me, it was just the best one-day activity to experience the culture here in Busan. So, fun fact for you, did you know that Busan is like really close to Japan? In fact, if you're headed to Japan, be sure to check out my Japan videos. It'll definitely enhance your visit to Japan. So the market is open to just like tourists like me and you from 5 in the morning until I guess 10 p.m. at night. But apparently the busiest time of the day to visit the market and most exciting time is early in the morning, between like 5 and 9 in the morning. And then it kind of slows down a bit, I guess, and then it picks up again in the afternoon. But right here is the port where all the boats are docking and coming in, and they unload their boats here, and then they just wheel their fish over to the market, and then the ladies start cleaning it and preparing it for sale. And you know, this is a pretty exciting place to be, and you're not going to be bored here. So if you're visiting Busan, you should, I think, try to fit in a visit to the Jagalchi seafood market. If you're looking for something authentic to do and to have a really good seafood lunch or breakfast, this is definitely the place to do it. So hopefully you enjoyed this little virtual tour, and hopefully you'll check out some of my other adventure videos all throughout Southeast Asia.